I'm so thirsty. I need something to... Yo. I don't feel so well. Welcome everyone to another mod spotlight, and today we're gonna go over the MineChem mod version 2, and I've been looking forward to make a spotlight on this for ages. Unfortunately the mod hasn't been updated, but now it is back. Version 2, new features, new looks and new style, and so much stuff you can do. It is incredible for all of you chemistry fans out there, or just guys that like to play around with potions a little bit. So first of all, I'm gonna show you the few recipes there are in the mod, and after that we have a look at what we can do with the machines. Before I go any further, I want to say that this is actually a Buildcraft edition, so you will need Buildcraft energy for this to function properly. Let's have a look at the recipes. The atomic manipulator, made like this with an iron block, is actually only a component for this recipe, the chemical decomposer. Pretty cool. And this is how it looks. Whew. Some interfaces, we're gonna have a look at them later. We also have the convex lens with normal glass and the concave lens. Pretty cool. And with those together you make the microscope lens. There we go. And of course with that you can make a microscope using glass panes. Pretty cool. This is how the microscope looks. Darn awesome. Next up we have glass bottles. Now this is actually not the vanilla recipe, as you get 32 glass bottles from that, but you will need a lot of the glass bottles, let me tell ya. Anyways, last but not least we have the chemical synthesis table. I hopefully pronounced that right. But anyways, this is how it looks. Pretty cool. And now we shall have a look what you can actually do with those guys. This mod is under heavy development from the looks of it, so there's plenty of more stuff being added, but I'm just gonna show you the basic principles, how you can use the machines, what you can do with them, and the fun part really is to discover stuff on your own, combine different elements and see what you can do with them. Pretty fun, but let's have a look at the microscope first. This baby is actually used to analyze materials and see what components they are made of. For instance, if I take this oak wood and place it in here, I can see that I'll get 8 of these bottles, which are made of C6, H10 and O5. That is pretty cool. Now, the microscope is only to analyze stuff. You cannot really do anything with it. It also doesn't require power. The chemical decomposer on the other side requires the power, and you can see pretty nice animations going on right there. It requires bottles right there, and many bottles, believe me. But anyways, if I put the oak wood in here, you can actually see that I will get those 8 bottles. That is pretty cool. And this is basically what you do with it. You basically split elements up in the different components. Now that also means I have C6, H10, O5. Maybe let's analyze this here. And you can see, of course, these are the 3 expected elements it's made of. So if we put that in here, we'll get them one by one. That is pretty cool. So we have these elements. Now what can we do with that? Actually, let's have a look at the table right here. We can see we also have a spot for glass bottles. Now for instance, I want to combine those 3 guys. You can see carbon. A lot of carbon actually gives you coal. That is pretty cool. But if I combine these 3 guys, I can get it back. I basically combine the elements to get a new element going on, or a new component anyways. And we have it back. And you see it's kind of like an equivalent exchange system, if you know what I mean. For instance, I have this birch wood right here. Okay, let's have a look at the birch wood, and you can see it also gives me 8 bottles, but it's a little bit arranged differently, as you can see. So let's go have a look actually in here, and you can see this is kind of a crafting table. So let's arrange the bottles just like we've seen, and we can actually make a birch wood. That is pretty cool, isn't it? So let's make some more bottles out of that. And for instance, we could go with, I think, a jungle wood, just like so. As another example, I want to produce myself some string. So let's have a look at the recipe. You can see these 3 guys are actually required. I have them already in my hotbar just so we can have a better look at it. Now the first one being C3H7NO3, and I have that prepared already here. So if we combine these elements, and of course we are assuming you would have plenty of elements split up into a single element and ready to use for crafting, just like so. So we get the first component, pretty cool. The second one is C2H5NO2. So we have that C2H5NO2. Pretty cool, and we combine this. And the last one being C3H7NO2. C3H7NO2. Pretty cool, I have to say. Okay, and we should be able to combine these 3 now to get some string. Awesome. Before we end this spotlight, I want to run you through the materials that are already producing some elements. A lot more will come, obviously, but let's have a little look here. And the elements don't really matter, you can discover that on your own. It is pretty cool to do so anyways. Feel like a little scientist. And the list goes on. Now, for instance, diamonds gives you 4 stacks of carbon. That is pretty cool. Now, if you have a look at coal, which gives you 1 carbon, you could potentially produce diamonds using 4 stacks of coal. Of course, that is a little bit expensive, but that's just the way it works. Or you could also split up gunpowder and get some carbon from that. So 2 stacks of gunpowder, 2 stacks of coal, and you have a diamond. And, you know, so on and so forth. It is just crazy. There's more. Also, all the dice give you actually different potions. So the dice are on the left and there are potions or elements on the right. As you can see. That is pretty cool. And here I've put in a nether star, and this is actually what it spit out. All of that from one nether star. That is pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not sure if you want to put your first nether star really in the machine. But anyways, here we have some, I would say, end products, some elements that are kind of an end combination in terms that you can drink it. Most of them will actually hurt you pretty badly, or give you debuffs, or give you buffs. And that's also something I'm gonna let you discover on your own. But all of these guys are different potions and can be consumed. So, oh my gosh, that is, I don't know. I'm pretty impressed by this. Alright guys, this has been it for this mod spotlight. I don't know what else to say other than go ahead, download it and do some chemistry in Minecraft. It is pretty darn awesome. And as I said, this mod is being updated at the moment pretty heavily, so expect much more to come. This is just the beginning. Pretty good work, I have to say, respect. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, have a good time, and hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.